Alright, this is going to be the first part of my story about my life. I'm going to start from when I was born to now. So I was born July 27th, 1995, at 7:32 in the morning, and I was 6 pounds, 3 ounces. Doctors thought I wouldn't make it because I was having a hard time breathing on my own. My grandma Barb basically sat at the hospital with my mom until I got better within 3 hours. Well, not 3 hours, but 3 days. And the third day, my grandmother said, "Come on, will you get better? Because my soaps are coming on." And my health took a turn for the good, and I started breathing on my own. They took me out of the incubator. I got color in my skin and started to cry. My mom started weeping with joy. My father wasn't around at the time. He didn't even know I was born yet. I was very sick frequently after that. At one time they thought I had meningitis, where it was hard for where I was, it was hard for me to breathe. And they finally diagnosed me with asthma at the age of 1.5 years. At 2 years old, I had my first asthma attack. First documented asthma attack. And I almost died once again. Now, my mom tried her best to keep me alive. She did everything she could to pay the extra money to do the treatments that I needed to get done to me to keep me from breathing hard and suffering from asthma symptoms. Yeah. At 3.5, I had another asthma attack that caused me to stay in the hospital for a multiple amount of days. And it kind of was bad on the ones that were around me because they were scared that they might lose the child that they fell in love with, I guess. After I got out of the hospital, my mom had basically made the air sterile around wherever we went. Made it so there was nobody smoking around me and nothing. She even quit smoking herself. Yeah. When I turned 5, I really wanted to get into playing soccer and baseball and stuff like that, but my mom was scared for me to do that because because of my asthma. Now, I was already on 2 of the major asthma medicines when I was younger, and I only can remember one of them, and I think it's Embruterol, and I think the other one was Flovent, so I do remember 2 of them. I had to take those to kind of counteract all my bad breathing and stuff like that, and I kind of had to take that medicine while I was playing soccer and baseball and all that. When I turned 6, my health started to I started to depend less on my medicine, because I guess my body started to be able to breathe normally on its own without the medicine when I'm doing hyperactivities. So that was a good point in my life. It started to turn around. I stopped taking medicine altogether when I turned 6 and a half. When I get like 6 months and 6 months after I turned 6, I stopped taking all the medicine altogether because I just didn't want to take it, because it just tasted so nasty in my mouth. My mom would tell me to take it, and as soon as she would turn it around, I would blow it out my mouth and all that stuff. Yeah. What else? When I turned 7, something major happened in my life. Now, I haven't told you guys about my dad's family and my grandmother and all that. They didn't play a big part in that. They played a big part in my family without raising me, but I'm giving you snippets of what happened in my life, major events, stuff like that. So, here. When I turned 7, my mom took me away from my father and my grandmother. The reason this being was...
Get a head start on your Christmas card.
The reason for this being is that my mom put her hands on me and left a scratch on my face. The reason how this became is because I seen a spider in the bathroom. I'm dead scared of spiders. Still, I was dead scared of spiders, and back then I was, and now I am now. I'm just scared of spiders. I have arachnophobia, and I refused to go in the bathroom to brush my teeth before I went to school. Well, my mom got angry with me and took me by my face and picked me up and slammed me against the wall, but her nail scratched me because her hand slid. The scratches on my face were now showing. My father seen them and opened a CPS case against my mother. Child Protective Services case. And that case led to my mom winning, where I was taken away from my father. That kind of backfired. Now, my mom, after that happened, my mom found another man, just the 4th guy that she's been with, and she gets pregnant by him. He stays with her. The baby's born. This man abused me and my siblings. It was only physical abuse, never sexual or never sexual. It was actually more neglect and physical. He would beat me for having my TV on at night, where I used to fall asleep with my TV on. And that's how I've always been. Is I always fell asleep with my TV on watching Pokemon, but I would go to sleep watching Pokemon, and then that roll from that to just me coming home and saying one thing wrong, and would get the taste slapped out of my mouth. And that happened all the way up till I was 13, until I could fight back. When I turned 13, I started fighting back because a friend of mine named Wendell Scott taught me Muay Thai. And I started fighting back against him. Fighting, like, getting into full-blown fights, hand-to-hand, in the house, protecting myself, protecting my sister, protecting myself predominantly because I was the main target. During the time I was 13, this is not just about abuse, this is about my whole life, so I'm going to tell you the other part. And skip back a little bit. A month before I turned 13, I met this guy named Connor. Connor was my best friend, and he held a special place in my heart. And me being a naive 12-year-old, you never notice the things of how somebody will look at you, how they smile and everything. And I was aware of my sexuality back then, but I was kind of in denial. At the same time, I knew what I wanted, and I knew how Connor felt. And Connor and I started dating when I turned 15. Now, we started dating for 6 months before he passed away. Those 6 months were a good 6 months of my life when I wasn't at home with my mother. I felt like Connor took me places I've never felt before. When it came to it, I could cry with him. He'd cry with me. We dealt with basically if he was still alive. I mean, I would still be with him. But he would take me to he mentally and physically took me places that I've never been before. I mean, sexually, mentally, emotionally. It's just like everything. He took me to his family took me to the Enduratics, the snowboard for the first time in my life, and I had an amazing time. He taught me how to snowboard. We also did gym music together, of course. Yes, at a young age. Don't talk about that. And you're gonna say I'm too young to fall in love, but I did love him. It's because I know, well, he was the first love, I guess, and falling in love with him and stuff like that. I don't know how, but to make a long story short on him, he passed away because he had a brain aneurysm. Now, this somehow runs in his family because his dad died of this. And his dad was young when his mom got pregnant with him. His mom got pregnant with him. And dad died at 17. Connor died at 13. Connor's brother died at 12. His younger brother. Now, I guess it's on their dad's side. I don't know. I don't know how that worked. I guess it's all from both parents because the dad died before the younger one was born, or whatever. So he passed away, and that caused me to go into a terminal depression for about a year and a half. So I was 15. Through that time, I was still being bullied at school. And of me being bullied led to me cutting myself, leaving scars that will never heal. And it's sad, kind of sad. I'll go on to the bullying stories another day, but I'll just keep with the name. When I turned 15, my father finally came and got me back from my mother. He told her, he told her that it was time for me to come live with him to learn how to be a man. And I didn't trust myself with living with him. I even threatened my mom to run away from home and she didn't let me live with her. So she let me go. After a drawn out custody hearing once again. But this time I got to choose what I wanted, basically. So I went with my dad, and my mom basically just signed over custody and said, I'm not gonna fight for you anymore. It's not even worth it. So I got to live with my father. There was basically a honeymoon period for living with him before I came out and told him that I was gay. Now, when I told him I was gay, that changed everything for me. I almost got put out. And shouldn't say almost got put out. I did get put out. Because when I turned 17, that's when I started living with my grandmother. And it's been rough on me since then, since I lost. Alright. And it's been hard since I've been living with my grandmother. There's nothing hard about living here with her. It's just dealing with the fact that my father will never accept that I'm gay, and then the fact that to him and his eyes that it's a choice, and I chose to be this way. And it kind of hurts. But I'll get through it. Because, again, I'm going to say this to everybody before I end this video, and end my story. Before I end the story and the video, it's always going to get better. Because it's gotten better for me. Even though my dad put me out, I went to job corps for a year. Finished a freaking culinary program with no problem whatsoever, and then made it home to my grandmother, and I take care of her on a daily basis, which it could be a burden at times, but at the same time, it's still a good thing because I get to spend the time with my grandmother that I didn't get to spend with her 7 years ago because my mom took me away from my father. She separated me from my father and my grandmother. And you know what? I honestly think my mom for doing that, because if it wasn't for my mom doing all those things to me and her husband abusing me, I would not be the person that I am today. And without my dad rejecting me, I wouldn't become as strong as I am today. And honestly, if none of this ever happened, I wouldn't be the same person. I would not be the Marshall that you guys all know now. I mean, you guys would never know me as the person I am. I don't know what else to say really, but to end the story basically, I went after getting kicked out, ended up with my grandmother and finishing up my senior year in high school. I did fall in love again, which was kind of a dumb move on my part. I fell in love with a dude named Eric Morales, and for a good 6 months it was a good cat and mouse game where I was a cat and he was the mouse, and he basically play with my emotions and then tell me that he wasn't interested or he wasn't ready for another relationship. But eventually I kind of coaxed him into dating me, and we kind of hit it off, and like I mean, it's kind of hard now to sleep without him, I guess, because I mean, sleeping by myself is bad. I don't sleep that much anyways anymore, but sleeping with him, it felt right, comfortable, warm. I mean, of course I had a higher body heat than him, so he kind of used me as a furnace, and he would cuddle up next to me and would fall asleep. But after I left from about 2 months ago, I haven't heard anything from him. Tried to call him, and I haven't been able to get in contact with him because either he's too busy or he's at work, and I'm kind of ready to see him again. So I don't know. I need to go see him. So, but you guys kind of got the summed up version of my life. I was going to tell you guys in great detail, but I really can't do that, because if I do that, I'm going to break down and cry, and when I do that, it's going to be bad. I won't be able to record anymore. But, thank you guys, for watching, and, I'm not gonna say hit the subscribe button because you don't have to subscribe. I'm only doing this just to get my story out there. And thank you for listening to my story once again. And this is Tomoya, also known as Marshall Lee. Actual government name is Daquan. Signing off. Nice to talk to you guys and see you guys again. Thank you. Bye.